day, guys. Welcome to our English First Additional Language FAL Grade 12 Term 2. We are going to focus on the literature from where we left last. I asked you last to go and read a short story by the title of The Girl Who Can. And I asked you to apply all the elements that we've learned in that lesson so that it can help us today in answering what we are going to do today, or in answering the short story together. So before we answer a short story, I want us to check the challenges that we have or that we face, or most of the time learners face when it comes to answering questions. Learners have problems with short stories when it comes to comprehension, following the plot, understanding the characters, understanding vocabulary, understanding the role of the narrator. Learners fail to follow the plot. They fail to understand the character because they lack background knowledge of the short story. Understanding the cultural background of the short story. This is what I said last when I explained to you guys about the elements of short story: the setting, the characterization, the style, the theme of that particular short story. Learners need to appreciate the style. If you do not appreciate the style that the writer used to convey the message or used to write the text, you will fail to understand or fail to answer the questions given to you after. And then another one is making interpretations. Learners lack confidence when it comes to making their own interpretations of a short story or of a text. And learners fail to cope with ambiguity, where the context is written the same but have different meaning. It's very ambiguous. Okay, so again, is inadequate reading strategies. They have tendency to focus on every word rather than general meaning. Another one is motivation. Learners lack confidence when it comes to motivation. You find that there's nothing that motivates them to read that particular short story. And the content of stories, they find it very uninteresting. That can be another barrier, another problem that learners have when it comes to short stories. And then short stories that are not relevant to passing exams in English. You find that there is a short story and they feel like it will not benefit them at the end. They are not going to write an exam with, they are not going to be assessed on, so they do not find it very relevant for them. And that gives them a problem. Another one is learners do not read much. Like I told you guys, readers are leaders. Learners are not reading much. They only scan, they only skim. I encourage you guys to go find time, maybe an hour, and read. Reading a short story doesn't even take time. So these are basically the challenges that learners come across when it comes to attempting questions that comes from a short story. So before we answer our questions, let's first look at the ways of answering a short story. We've got 3 ways of answering a short story. The first will be looking at the world of the text. Where is the work or this drama set in that short story? Who are the participants? Who are the characters? Who are the personas in that text? Who is telling the story in that text? Who is narrating? Is it the first person? Is it the third person who's telling a story in that short text? Whose point of view is given in that short text, in that short story? What happens? How does it happen? When does it happen? And why is it happening? So, these are the things that we should focus on when we are looking at the text. What is the purpose of the text? The critic, the exploring social issues, the morals. These are the things that you should focus on when you are reading a text. And then now, what questions to ask before we go to the second world? What questions to ask the text? What is the writer's genre? When you are reading a short story, these are the things that you should have in mind, or you should ask yourself, what is the writer's genre? How does the writer use language? Is it rhetorical? Is it persuasive? Is it lyrical or colloquial? What literary devices does the writer use? Irony, allegory, punctuations, all those things. How has the writer structured the text? Elaborate the stage directions. How does the writer structure the text? Is the writer's point of view the same, or is it different from that of a narrator? Or are their characters different? These are some of the things that you should focus on before answering what? Answering a short story. Now, the second world is the world of a writer. The world of a writer provides the writer's background information that can help a reader to understand and interpret what? A text. What is the political? What is the social? What is the economic and cultural context in which the writer lived? If it's present, if it's future that the writer lives, are they important political events or cultural events or social events or literary events or movements which influence the writer? Is it French Revolution that influenced the writer, or feminism that influenced the writer when writing that particular story? What are the interests? What are the beliefs of the writer, the values and the cultural norms of the writer? Does the writer subscribe to the ideological beliefs, or does the writer challenge the ideological beliefs? These are the things that you should focus on before answering what? A short story. During that period of reading a short story, you should have the word of the writer in mind. Focus on the values and norms of the writer's time. Okay, now we go to the third world, because I said we've got 3 worlds of that. Now we go to the world of the reader. Now, who is reading that? Who is the ideal learner reader of the text? Is it a boy or is it for girls? Is it for senior phase or is it for FAT? Is it for home language people or is it for first additional language learner? These are the things that you should have in mind before attempting what? A short story. What are their reading skills? The level of reading of that particular reader. So you should find all these things when you are reading a text. That's when you find the intention of the writer, the author. Okay, the knowledge. What knowledge, prior knowledge, does the learner reader bring to the text? The knowledge that you have when attempting a text. Are you relating? Or is it challenging enough? Or is it different from what you have? Do you have knowledge of what you read? And if you've got knowledge similar to that of a story, you'll be able to understand every context in that short story. Now, the schemata or frame of reference. What schemata or frame of reference does the learner reader have to make sense of the what? Of the text. Now, what are the interests? What are the values? What are the beliefs of the learner reader? How are these beliefs similar to those of the text, or how are these beliefs different to those of the text? These are the things that a reader should have. Why is the reader reading the text? Is it for pleasure because the reader enjoys reading? or they have nothing to do and then they feel they have to read this and that? Or is it for self-improvement? They notice their challenges when it comes to reading, the concentration, the punctuation, grammar, and all that, and then they decided that they are reading this so that they can improve themselves, their reading skills? Or is it for test? Perhaps, like I said yesterday, you should go and read this so that today we may be able to tackle the questions together. So are you reading for that purpose? And then when you are done, now we are going to focus on the biography of the author. Focusing the biography of the author will tell you if where the author was born, when, and how they lived their lives. Okay, and then now after that, then you have to go to the questions. By understanding, before we move on, by understanding the biography of the author, that's when you find the likes and the dislikes, the characters of the author, and it will help you in characterizing or in answering where the setting, the location, the time of that, and also the belief of the author. All right. Now, our activity is we've got, I think, like 8 questions or 9, if I'm not mistaken. Now, number 1 is, what made Ajwa into a quiet girl? What is the issue about Ajwa's legs? What sort of legs would Nana have liked Ajwa to have? Despite being minor characters, do either Mommy or Nana change as the story progresses? Describe the different attitude to Ajwa's attending school that 2 women have. Why was Ajwa's school uniform so well washed? So well washed in what? In the story. In the second last paragraph, the speaker says it's much better this way and acted it out to show them. Explain what she means by this. Remember, when you are answering this, you should also check the marks accumulated so that you may be able to know how you should answer. Did the speaker plan to show the women? Explain your answer. Do other women sometimes keep girls from expressing their potential? Discuss. So check the marks so that you may be able to know. You can see this one, it says 5 marks. It means answering it cannot be like number 8 where it says explain your answer and gives you 1 mark. So these are other things that when attempting questions based on the short story that you've been reading, you should also focus on the marks allocated. So remember, readers are leaders. This is our theme. So see you again next time. Bye.